August 24th, 410 AD. For the first time in 800 years, the eternal city is burning. Citizens are running through the streets, not from a plague, not from a natural disaster, but from an army that was never supposed to breach these walls. The most powerful empire in human history is falling, but this didn't happen overnight. This catastrophe was 1,000 years in the making. To understand how Rome fell, we need to understand how it rose. Imagine 753 BC, Central Italy. As dawn breaks over 7 misty hills, this isn't the Rome we know from history books. There's no empire, not even a city. It's just a humble collection of mud huts, home to desperate farmers. But these people, with weathered hands deep in the soil, possess something extraordinary, a relentless obsession with conquest. Legend tells us Rome was founded by Romulus and Remus, twin brothers suckled by but the reality is far grittier. Rome was forged by refugees, outcasts, and criminals. The perfect, hardened foundation for an empire that would be built on blood. For 200 long years, Rome expanded slowly, brutally, one village at a time. They didn't just defeat their enemies, they completely erased them from existence. Then, in 509 BC, the Romans did something truly revolutionary. They drove out their last king and established the Republic. It wasn't a democracy as we know it, not yet, but it was a system where power was shared, where law held more weight than lineage, and where ambition was handsomely rewarded. And Rome's ambition was absolutely boundless. Italy fell, then Sicily, then the mighty Carthage. The Roman military machine seemed unstoppable. This wasn't because of superior weapons, but because of something far more powerful: unwavering discipline. Every legionary was a mirror image of the next, every movement precisely calculated, making every enemy predictable. Greece, Spain, Gaul, Egypt, North Africa, one by one, they were absorbed. The entire Mediterranean Sea became, in essence, a Roman lake. But this unprecedented success came with a steep price, a debt that Rome was about to pay in full. The greatest empire the world had ever seen was about to face its greatest enemy, itself. The story doesn't end here. The Republic will crumble, and from its ashes, and then March 5th, 1044 BC. The Ides of March, in the heart of Rome. The most powerful man in the Republic, Julius Caesar, walks into the Senate. But this is no ordinary session. 60 senators are waiting, not with laws and decrees, but with daggers hidden beneath their togas. Caesar, the celebrated general, the conqueror of Gaul, the man who crossed the Rubicon and declared himself dictator for life, is completely unaware. He believed the Republic was his. The senators believed he was its greatest threat. 23 stab wounds later, the dictator lies dead on the marble floor. The conspirators flee, believing they have saved Rome. They thought they had restored the Republic. They were tragically wrong. Their act of violence didn't save the Republic. It created a power vacuum. And from the shadows stepped a new player, one they never saw coming, enter Octavian, Caesar's 18-year-old grandnephew, an adopted heir. He was young, physically frail, and completely underestimated. But where he lacked brute strength, he possessed a cunning and ruthless intelligence that would reshape the world. For the next 13 years, Octavian navigated the treacherous waters of Roman politics. He formed alliances only to break them, systematically outmaneuvered and eliminated every rival. From the formidable Mark Antony to the captivating Cleopatra, he played the long game, and he won. The 27 BC he stood alone, the undisputed master of Rome. The Senate, the very body that had killed his great-uncle to prevent a king, bowed before him. They bestowed upon him a new name: Augustus, the revered one. In that moment, the Roman Republic officially died, and from its ashes, the Roman Empire was born. What followed was not chaos, but an unprecedented era of stability. De Pax Romana, the Roman peace. For 200 years, the empire flourished. War was a distant rumor on the frontiers. Trade boomed, connecting 3 continents on a network of newly built roads. Engineering marvels, like the aqueducts, brought fresh water to sprawling cities. The Colosseum hosted spectacles on a scale never seen before. Art, literature, law, and philosophy thrived under the protection of the most powerful military the world had ever known. Rome was at its absolute peak, a shining beacon of civilization and power. But history teaches us one undeniable lesson. No empire, no matter how great, stays at its peak forever. And for Rome, it's 180 AD, and one of Rome's greatest emperors, the philosopher King Marcus Aurelius, is on his deathbed. His legacy is one of wisdom and strength. His son, Commodus, hidden in the shadows, is anything but. Once emperor, Commodus's true nature is unleashed. He's unstable, paranoid, and delusionally believes he's the reincarnation of the god Hercules. He even fights as a gladiator in the Colosseum, forcing horrified senators to watch his bloody spectacle. Under his erratic rule, the mighty Roman Empire begins to rot from the inside out. But his eventual assassination doesn't solve the problem. It only exposes how deep the decay has gone. The years that follow are pure chaos. In just 50 years, Rome cycles through a staggering 26 different emperors. The empire has become a victim of its own success. It's too vast to govern, too expensive to maintain, and riddled with corruption. And while Rome tears itself apart, new threats are gathering at the borders. Goths, Vandals, Huns, tribes that Rome once easily crushed, are now a formidable force. The legendary Roman legions are a shadow of their former selves. The soldiers are exhausted, poorly paid, and ironically, many are now barbarians serving as mercenaries. The economy is in a free-fall. The currency is worthless, food shortages are rampant, and devastating plagues wipe out millions, weakening the empire further. In 284 AD, Emperor Diocletian makes a radical, desperate decision. He splits the empire in two, the West and the East. The idea is to make it more manageable, with 2 emperors, 2 administrations, and 2 armies. But this division becomes permanent. The 2 halves will never truly reunite. Just a few decades later, in 313 AD, Emperor Constantine changes everything again. He legalizes Christianity, and soon it becomes the dominant religion of the empire. The old Roman gods are cast aside. Constantine also moves the heart of power, building a magnificent new capital in the East, Constantinople. The West is left behind, a fading power. By 400 AD, the Western Roman emperors are mere puppets. The real power is held by barbarian generals who command the armies. And beyond the crumbling walls, the sound of war horns echoes. The final invasion is about to begin. The fall is no longer a question of if. Another terrifying figure emerged. Attila the Hun, the self-proclaimed scourge of God, who ravaged Italy, leaving a trail of devastation that further weakened the empire's core. Just 3 years later, in 455 AD, the Vandals arrived from North Africa. They sacked Rome again, this time with a systematic brutality that even outdid Alaric's pillage. The city was stripped bare over 2 weeks. With each passing year, the Western Empire crumbled. You could watch it happen on a map. Britain was long gone. Then Gaul fell to the Franks. Spain was lost to the Visigoths. The vital grain supply from North Africa was cut off by the Vandals. The empire was shrinking, hollowing out from within, until all that remained was Italy itself, a ghost of its former glory. The once mighty legions were gone, replaced by barbarian mercenaries who held the real power. The emperor became a powerless puppet, a mere figurehead in an empty palace. Finally, we arrive at the year 476 AD. The last emperor of the West is a boy of about 16. His name is Romulus Augustulus. It's a name that feels like a cruel joke from history, combining the name of Rome's legendary founder with the name of its glorious first emperor. He is a pathetic echo of the titans who came before him, a child playing dress-up in oversized imperial robes. On September 4th, the charade comes to an end. A Germanic warlord named Odoacer, the true master of Italy, strides into the imperial palace in Ravenna. He doesn't need to fight. The power is already his. With quiet finality, he walks up to the boy emperor and gently removes the imperial diadem from his head. The scepter, the purple robes, all the symbols of imperial authority are packed into a crate. Odoacer sends these treasures to the Eastern Roman Emperor in Constantinople. The message accompanying them is simple and devastatingly clear. The West does not need an emperor anymore. There is no grand battle, no final heroic stand. It just ends. After 1,000 years of dominance, after conquering the known world and shaping the course of human history, the Western Roman Empire is gone. A long, silent sunset falls over what was once the greatest power on earth. You've probably heard this story 1,000 times. The great Roman Empire, the mightiest civilization the world had ever seen, collapsed in the year 476 AD. A barbarian chieftain named Odoacer marches into the city, deposes the last emperor, and poof, Rome is gone. The lights go out on civilization, and Europe plunges into the Dark Ages. It's a dramatic tale, the kind they love to tell in history class. But here's the thing they often leave out: that's not the whole story. Not even close. When Odoacer took Rome, he only took the western half of the empire. Over in the east, the Roman Empire, which we now call the Byzantine Empire, wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. With its magnificent capital at Constantinople, it carried the flame of Rome for another 1,000 years. A full millennium of Roman emperors, Roman law, and Roman culture continued. Long after the city of Rome itself had fallen on hard times, this Eastern Roman Empire finally fell in 1453, when the massive cannons of the Ottoman Sultan, Mehmed the Conqueror, breached the legendary walls of Constantinople. So, that's it, right? 1453 is the real end of Rome. Well, no. Even then, Rome never truly died. It just changed. It transformed. Think about it. Every time you walk into a courthouse and hear the principal innocent until proven guilty, that's a Roman idea, a cornerstone of their legal system. See a grand government building with majestic columns, soaring arches, and a massive dome. That's Roman architecture echoing through the centuries. Drive down a modern highway, a network of roads connecting a vast nation. You're experiencing a concept perfected by the Romans to hold their empire together. The very words we speak are filled with Roman echoes. If you speak Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, or Romanian, you're speaking a language that evolved directly from Latin, the language of the Romans. Ever wonder about the names of our months? When you say July, you're honoring Julius Caesar. When you say August, you're tipping your hat to Emperor Augustus. The influence is everywhere. Look at global institutions. The Roman Catholic Church, a major force in world history for 2 millennia, is still centered in Rome. Its structure deeply influenced by the old Roman administration. And what about our political systems? The idea of a senate, of checks and balances, of a republic where citizens have a voice. These are concepts forged in the Roman Republic. Rome didn't just build aqueducts and amphitheaters. It built the very foundations of Western civilization. So, Rome didn't fall. It simply became the foundation upon which our modern world was built. It's not just in our history books. It's in our laws, our buildings, our languages, and our ideas. It's in the very DNA of our society. The empire is gone, but the ghosts of Rome is all around us. They ask why we're still obsessed with Rome. Why do we think about it? Why does it capture our imagination, thousands of years after it supposedly fell? It's a fair question. We walk on modern streets, surrounded by glass and steel, yet our minds drift back to cobbled roads, to legions and senators. The answer is simple. Look around. The language you speak, the laws that govern you, the very idea of a republic, the calendar on your wallet, all echoes with the footsteps of Romans. Empires fall, borders change, civilizations collapse, turning to dust and whispers. But ideas are eternal. And Rome was more than just an empire. It was an idea. The idea that a city could become the world. The idea that something built by human hands could aspire to eternity. Rome never really left us. It's in the foundations of our world. It's the ghost that haunts our history. Rome was the greatest idea of all.